Hello, hello, hello. Hey friends, how are we doing today? If you're watching the replay, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out this conversation here. My name is Svava Brooks. I'm an abuse survivor coach, and I love to support my fellow survivor thrivers on the journey to restoration, to come back to our hearts, to heal our bodies, minds, and spirits. I do believe that we all come equipped with everything that we need to heal and restore. Yes, life is hard. Life gets in the way, and especially if we have childhood trauma, it can feel very hard and lonely and complex and confusing and all those things. Hey, Rob, welcome, friend, to heal our hearts. Yes, I've been there myself, so I understand, and that's why I'm a big fan of having an open dialogue with other people on the healing journey, because we all need support. We don't do it alone. And so to help my fellow survivors, we are working our way through my book, one day, one page at a time, Releasing Your Authentic Self. My book is available on Amazon or Kindle. If you'd like a copy, it's a workbook, and I've written 2 books now, and this is the book. These are the books that I wrote because I was searching for tools, right? When I recognized I had done a lot of healing and I was ready to make that shift to focus on not so much about the past, but on the present and the future. How do I do that? I needed a role model. I needed a guide. So I created one. So if you'd like to join the conversation, hey, Rob, glad you're here, friend. Just to give a heads up, I'm in broadcast mode only here on Periscope today. Apologies, my friends, but I am live. Running the live chat over on YouTube. Cannot navigate 2 chat streams at the same time. My brain gets into overwhelm there. But if you want to join the conversation on YouTube, you can do a search for the name of the book or my name, Svava Brooks, and you will find us there in the live chat. How are you doing today, Rob? And anybody else, if you're new and watching, please say hello. Please let us know you're here so we can welcome you. Okay, thanks, Donna. Good to see you. You're here briefly, and we'll catch the replay. Hey, Vicky, good to see you again, my friend. We just had our little group Zoom call earlier today. Good to connect with you. So glad that you're here. I've gotten a couple of private messages from people that aren't going to make it today. Some people are sleeping, getting in some extra sleep. I'm a huge fan of sleep. I was actually sharing this weekend. We had a long holiday weekend here in the United States. So I actually was kind of amazed how much sleeping. I got in some naps this weekend. It felt really, really good. And so I'm feeling well rested. So, and other people, somebody of their friends also weren't feeling well. So self-care is always on the top of my list. And I've been known for canceling my live streams too, if it's just too much, right? That's part of being human, of living in this body, is to be able to self-regulate and to be aware, right? That's one of the things that we're learning as we're healing our bodies, is to become aware of what's happening inside so we can do something about it, right? Maybe we're powerless in the past, right? Overwhelmed with our thoughts and feelings, and maybe acted out in some ways. But now, as we're learning to heal and come back to the body so we can listen to it. So when it tells us it is tired, I'm tired, I need sleep, or I'm hungry, it's an important skill, right? So whatever you need to do to take care of yourself, more power to you, and always, right? Please take good care of yourself. But I'm glad to see you guys here today. So thanks for the thumbs up too, my friend. I appreciate that. So how are you doing, Vicky? I know Donna, you said you're multitasking here briefly and we'll watch the replay. And Rob, my friend, how are you doing today? Good to see you. And while we're catching up a little bit here, today's topic I haven't posted in our closed Facebook group. We are talking about learning how to listen to others. Begins with learning how to listen to yourself. Train yourself to listen to yourself, right? Easier said than done when we have been our survival mechanism, our coping, right? We disconnected. We've lived up in our heads. Doing good today. I'm glad to hear it. Good. Glad to hear it, Vicki. And again, it's not a negative thing, not a judgment that we may have had to live up in our head. It was a brilliant coping strategy, right? Your body is brilliant. And when it becomes overwhelmed with whatever is happening in your life and you don't have, the power, right, to maybe remove yourself. I'm sorry, Rob. He's not good. One thing after another. Please be gentle with yourself. I'm glad that you're here. But what I was saying is that when our bodies get overwhelmed and when it comes to the point of, basically we don't know what to do next, it's like we do disconnect. Your nervous system just takes over. Hey, Sharon. Hey, friend. Glad you're here. Right? So it is a brilliant coping strategy. But as we heal, we start to navigate. And that's why I was just saying here for about a minute, self-care, self-care, self-care. So we become more aware of recognizing the status of what's going on inside of our bodies. But for such a long time, I felt like I was broken. There was something wrong with me, that I spent a lot of time feeling numb or just like moving from one thing to the next. I felt kind of mindless in some ways, and I didn't understand it. But once I understood how my body and my nervous system works, I really started to appreciate my body, appreciate my capacity, right, to stay safe, right? And then also understand how I could work with the systems that I already have, work with my body within the systems of, that are always trying to keep me safe. And recognize where some of those habits that were maybe created out of fight or flight start to kind of open up very gently the door to starting to see, I wonder why my body feels compelled, right, to do certain things or respond in a certain way. And especially when we kind of enter or approach those habits with kindness, being gentle and warm, right, then we can kind of sit with it a little bit more. It's like, I wonder where I learned that from. I wonder what's the story behind this strong belief or this powerful reaction that I'm having to what's happening here around me. So it's all connected, but it's right to trace back. Where did it start? Hey, Chrisanne. Good to see you, friend. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So another thought that I put out there for us today. So the two questions we are going to touch on today are, what are you hearing inside yourself today? And number two, what is your heart telling you that you need? And that's an important distinction, right? Because sometimes, I don't know about you, but my mind can get so loud. Sometimes it's just like, stop already. And for a long time, I didn't even trust, my heart or trust that what I was really feeling was, yeah, no, this is how I'm feeling. This is what's going on inside of me. And then the second question is, what is your heart telling you that you need? And when our heart or our intuition or our body is telling us, I need something, is how can we proceed with loving action or kindness. I often talk about loving kindness, taking an action that is helpful and supportive to the truth of who you are, right? What does your body need to be hearing? Exactly. We're so used to minimizing, Vicki. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And that's right, coping strategy, right? That's kind of a coping strategy. Minimizing. We minimize what happened in the past. Well, it's in the past. I don't need to deal with it, or don't need to talk about it. I don't need to address that. But the truth is, the body keeps the score, right? So even though it can feel like too much, too big, right? That's kind of the human condition sometimes, but it's easier with others. It's easier with other humans to recognize. Yeah, it's hard to feel. It is hard to feel. Hey, Rob. Yes, I hear you. I understand, Rob. You're not alone, right? When we're in that pain and we just feel we're stuck in it, just doing our best to manage pain, right? Pain is all consuming. It really kind of consumes all our life force, all our energy, all our attention. It's very demanding and overwhelms us, which is not helpful again, right? Because then we just shut down and we're just in survival mode. So I'm sorry to hear that, Rob, but I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're here and you are not alone. You're not alone. So I appreciate you being here, even when it is hard. I hear you, I hear you, I hear you, my friend. I do. You welcome. You welcome. Yes. Yeah. I'm just dropping into my heart and just sending you some heartfelt love. Right? Sometimes that's, when other people are in pain, right? Sometimes it is hard that we can't do more. I wish we could do more, Rob, but I also know that we are here with you. We see you. We hear you. We know the struggle. We know the struggle. Perhaps not exactly the way you're going through it or the way you're feeling it, right? I'm not putting, trying to put my words or words in your mouth or, right? But I know you're not alone. I'm sorry, Rob. I'm sorry, my friend. If you will allow me, Rob, I am a Reiki practitioner, and some people are not comfortable with energy, but if you are open to it, all you have to do is to say yes, and I will send you some healing energy. So that's it. All you have to do is to say yes. As Reiki is concerned, we can't do any harm. To me, Reiki is pure love, is energy that is already in our universe. It's the life force itself that nurtures any spark. You're open to anything, all right, my friend? Then I invite you just to sit back in your chair Maybe put your hand on your heart. And maybe our friends that are here watching and listening, maybe you can help me and send love to Rob. Our intention and focusing on where our energy is going is very helpful. So Rob, if you put your hand on your heart, just drop into your heart. Maybe take a couple deep breaths. And thank you, Chrisanne. Rob, we are sending you love. And as you said, yes, you are welcoming or open to receiving the healing powers of love, of community, of friendship. You may or may not notice some people will feel warmth. I am imagining this pure, beautiful white light surrounding you. You too, my friend, are loved. And perhaps whisper to your body, let your body know you're here. Because your body is doing a beautiful job for you, holding whatever is there. And as you open to our love, as you receive that into your heart, and let the warmth from that slowly expand into your body. And just let the love warm you up while you also can choose to release and let go of any pain that is in your awareness right here, right now. Breathe into it. Breathe in love. And release any pain, anything behind the pain, anything behind the pain, right? And from all of us, may our loving intention for you give you a little bit of peace today. May this love and healing light lift your burden for today. There you go, sweet friend. That was lovely. Thank you for being open to receiving some love. Because when one of us says yes, good. Relaxing for the first time in ages. You're welcome, sweet man. You're welcome. You're welcome. So just keep feeling this warmth. Keep feeling the warmth. Keep bringing in the warmth. You can call that healing light to you. And you have our love and our prayers. We are with you, my friend. Good. So glad to hear that it felt like it relaxed you a little bit. And that's the language of the body. When we get tight, right? When we feel there's some kind of tension or resistance somewhere, something is seeking protection, something is asking to be held, right? So it's trying to get our attention. And so when we can, I know it's hard in the beginning. I did not want to have anything to do with being kind to my body, right? Giving myself warmth or attention or speaking kindly to myself. That was weird, right? But now that I know the importance of it, I can feel my body relax. Just when I say quietly to my body, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. So did anybody else feel a little bit of relaxation from this? That's the beauty of us coming together and sharing some love and encouragement and prayer and support. It benefits everybody. So that's the other reason why we were talking about this on the call earlier this morning together as a group. Even when you're in a group and you know these people are safe, how hard it is someone to reach out for help. Good, Vicky. How hard it can be to put yourself out there to ask for help. Right? The stories that we have about being a burden or nobody cares or nobody's there for me. The same thing like earlier, Vicky, right? We minimize, right? And of course, when we reach out for support, we're opening up ourselves to be, we have to be vulnerable to receive, right? And for some of us, that's not safe. I've been a tough cookie. I've held up this shield, right? Or this mask or built this wall. Right? I can't take it down because I'm going to get hurt if I open myself up. But it is definitely a part of it is, okay, maybe just one brick at a time, right? Start to put some holes in the layer, in the brick, right? And that's part of when we build these walls. We are building them around ourselves too. So it's all part of it. As we ask for help, we are also giving a gift. So you guys can see I have I'm dog sitting. A rescue dog. I'm watching her. She's definitely a trauma survivor. She comes in regularly and puts her head on my lap. I have to put my hand on her head. And she settles down and then she walks out and checks out, where is my mom? She's my daughter's dog, so that's why you may see her head pop up here. But she's lucky to have been adopted into a trauma-informed family because we see the trauma in her, but she's also My oldest daughter has trauma, and so she's definitely an emotional support to my daughter. And also, they're teaching each other. They're teaching each other. So, hey, no worries, Denise. We're glad you're here. So glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, Vicky, she is so sweet. Very, very sweet. A little insecure, but she is very sweet. So let's see here. What I also had written on the page for today, right? Sometimes the people we consider to be the worst listeners are often that way because they've spent their lives feeling unheard. Can you guys relate to that, right? Not being heard. I didn't even know what it looked like for me to be heard. What does it look like for me to be heard, to Svava to be heard? So it was an important part of that reconnecting. Often what those people need most isn't to have a whole room of people sit and quietly listen to their every word. No, it's their inner child acting out because he or she doesn't feel heard. And the only person that can truly validate the inner child in this way is the adult, right? Is you now as an adult, right? And that's the hope here, right? The good news is that, yes, I didn't know what it looked like, felt like, sounded like, to be really seen, to be really heard, to be really loved, to be really cared for, to be really delighted in, right? None of that. It was even scary to think about. But it started with reconnecting with this body where this little baby girl, my inner child, this is little Svava, where she lived, right? And to learn to listen to her, listen to her heart, listen to her feelings, and also, right, listen to my heart and give her permission to tell me the truth. Give her permission to tell me how she was feeling. Because the truth is, she really didn't want other people. She more wanted me to listen, my inner child, right? So the two questions today: what are you hearing inside yourself today? If you haven't taken the time to listen, maybe take a minute. Just sit quietly, keep your eyes open or closed, take a couple deep breaths. Just slow down, a couple breaths, and hear. And what is your heart telling you that you need? So let's see here. In our Facebook group, I had our group members, they share their comments, their feedback. So let's see here. Vicky, you shared with us today. She says, what you're hearing inside and what is your heart telling you? And she says, we're going to be okay. What you are processing is absolutely normal. Feel the feelings and get them out. Beautiful, Vicky. Absolutely right, my friend, right? Processing is normal. Feeling the feelings is normal. It's important to feel them to get out. To reach out, knowing in here, people do care and will listen and understand. They won't not tell you how to feel or what you feel is wrong. Exactly. So I'm so glad, Vicky, that you know that, right? Feeling is healing. Like for so many of us, in my personal experience and the so many people that I've worked with, it isn't the harm that was done to us that was the worst part. The worst part is that, right, we couldn't talk about it. No one was there to hold us or comfort us or validate or hug, or when we just needed to express it and feel the hurt, right? Not having someone to be there. through the hurt is worse than the actual abuse and the hurt. I'm not going to say that that's the truth for everybody, but for a lot of us, and to be sitting there for years with the doubt and the hurt and the shame and the secrecy, right? Vicky says, so very true, masks upon masks, right? And we get so good at putting on a good face, pretending we're happy and we're go-lucky all the time, right? Because we've been told, can you just get over it? Can you just stop? You know, why do you still talk about that? Why are you still feeling those feelings? Yep, I've been told many, many, many times, ooh, you must be stuck. You are just playing the victim, right? I'm like, really? Got my pets here. So just keep finding those people that understand you, that hear you, that see you, that get you, and that will not make you wrong for feeling your feelings and expressing your hurt. And that's especially what we do in our group. And I try to always set the intention for that. Yes, we're talking about hard stuff, but we're not talking about it to wallow in it. We're talking about it to get clarity, to understand, right? It's when it's all consuming that it clouds everything. But when we feel the feelings and get them out, we create a space for, oh, wait a minute, that wasn't my fault. Wait a minute, that isn't even my shame. It's like, why am I still carrying this junk? This isn't my secret. This was, right, their secret. Not my guilt, not my shame. My responsibility today, yes, to heal what's in here. I can't change the past, but to get clear about how these old beliefs are showing up today. That's what we talk about from the past. Better understanding, exactly, Denise. And you're in the right place, my friend. You're in the right place. And I'm sure you're starting to notice, right, in the group when people are writing out their process. Because we hear these terms thrown about, just understand the process, right? You're gonna, right, this is what it looks like. But in the beginning, we have no idea what it sounds like or feels like inside of us. But after a while, you start to have a better understanding of it. And then as you go through it, you're like, oh, so this is what they're talking about. And sometimes we won't even see it. Like we mentioned that on the call earlier today, is that we're down the chute and we can't put our fingers on what's really happening until almost we're out on the other side. And then we can look back and say, oh, that's what they were talking about. That was the process. That was kind of like the downward spiral a little bit, clean out this layer, and then we can come back up for air and take a look at, oh yeah, I went pretty deep there. I guess I really needed to heal that in there. And now I know why. Now I know why that hurt so bad. Now I know why I've had that toxic belief for so long. I didn't even hear it, right? So anyways, it's a very, very important work. And I love short and sweet, Vicky, your clarity. You're right on, my friend. You're right on. Reaching out, knowing that are people that do care and that will listen and understand. And sometimes we have to have that written out on a sticky note in front of ourselves on the bathroom mirror every day, right? Because in here is a very powerful critic or wounded self that is all too quick and ready to point out, right, where we went wrong, what's wrong with us, why people don't want to help, right? All that old chatter, right? So to focus and to choose from this list. I'm going to choose from this list. So you got it. You got it. So Denise, can I share your comment today? I I usually ask that people put it in there, so I have your permission. I'm going to scroll down here a little bit. Wanda also shared with us, and she gave me permission to share. She had also given me a heads up she wasn't going to make it on the call today. She says, Wanda says, when I listen very intentionally, I hear a very faint, you are doing a good job. Yes, this is hard, scary, and painful, but you got this. You got this. I'm so happy to hear that, Wanda. It is that quiet voice, that little quiet voice in the beginning, but slowly the volume gets turned up. Wanda also says, my heart constantly reminds me I need people. Isolation is not my friend, and I have people that care about me. Yes, you do, Wanda. I'm so glad that you hear that from your heart that you need people. We need each other, my friends. We do need each other. Exactly, Vicky, right? I was just about to say, anybody want to say me too? Can you relate, right? You are not alone. And again, the part of us that keeps us isolated is our trauma, right? It's part of survival strategy. Your body is okay, we're in pain, let's remove ourselves from any possible, fright or risk or uncertainty. We'll just cut everything off, cut everybody off. We'll just retreat into ourselves and into our home or into our room and into our bed and under our covers, right? That's your biology going, you're not safe. Let's get out of here. So to understand that that's naturally where we go when our nervous system is activated, right? But given our history, given our experience, right? Talking to our little girl, our inner child, it's like, hey, sweet girl, I get it. I get it. You don't feel safe. This feels hard. This feels painful. But I'm here now. I am here now. I see you. I'm with you. I'm going to protect you. No one is going to hurt you. I'm not going to let anybody hurt you. I am here. I'm here. I'm here. Right? And also maybe help your body do a little grounding in whichever way is supportive to you, through tapping, right? So important that we recognize those signals. We are so, like I said, hardwired. Your body and your nervous system and your brain is hardwired to protect you. So to understand, why is it that I'm feeling the need to protect myself? Where does this need to isolate? And then do our best, right, to override it by doing a reality check. No, we are safe. Hey, little girl, I got this. Hey, sweet body, I'm right here with you, right? We can calm down now, right? We can calm down. Even though I'm feeling anxious, right? I love and accept myself, and I'm going to choose to go about my day to day, and I'm going to choose to reach out to people, right? So I am very happy to hear that you're here in your heart, Wanda. Beautiful. So thank you for sharing that. So thank you, Denise. Denise gave me permission to share her comments today. She says, for me to be able to honestly answer this question, I first needed to fully convince myself that I am not a nuisance, burden, overly needy to other members. I understand my issue in part comes from my self-worth or lack thereof, and perhaps just general newness. My need is the same as last week and probably will be the same as next, to feel that I am worthy, that I am enough. I hear you, Denise. I hear you, my friend. Yes, you are. You are worthy and you are enough, right? And I'm so proud of you for being in this space and for having joined our group, right? Because you're doing what I was just saying, right? Is that all those inner conversations about being a burden, right? Being, too much, whatever, right? It is a story that we came up with as children in order to survive. And so, in part of correcting that story is to understand again where it came from. And then slowly but surely, and some of us, and I had to hear it over and over and over and over and over again in order to believe it. And until I started to also connect and recognize, right, that the part of me who was feeling needy, right, was this part of me. So the more I sat with her and learned to hear her, and it's hard in the beginning, but when I learned to distinguish where the neediness came from, and the need for closeness, the need for attachment, right? Like Wanda said, we need people. We are like hardwired from our birth to be really dependent on our caregivers. We need them desperately, right? And so if we don't get some of those basic needs met as children, there's this huge empty space, right? And then we spend our life like looking for it in other people. And that's often, right, feels like never ending. So it was very helpful when I understood, right, like this neediness that I had that I was kind of ashamed of for a long time. When I understood where it came from, I stopped feeling bad about it. I stopped feeling the need to hide it. And I was able to communicate it, with my friends and my partner, my husband. I was very blessed that I was able to communicate with him, when I was coming to him, like, you need to love me, you need to make me feel better, right? That I was able to communicate with him where it came from. It's like, I'm not asking you to be my daddy or to fill this empty hole, right? But it was important to have someone that I trusted to model for me in the beginning what that loving kindness, comfort, and care looked like in the beginning. And so many, many times I would go to him and just, can you just tell me that I'm okay? Can you just tell me I'm okay? Can you just tell me I'm good enough? And it felt very vulnerable and almost, embarrassing in the beginning. I'm a grown woman. Why am I asking for this? But the more I was willing to, find the people that I trusted to ask for that, and they gave it to me gladly. Like, of course I'm willing to support you. Of course I'm willing to tell you that, right? Then I learned, of course, right? Of course I can ask for what I need. Of course there is this deep emptiness inside of me that I didn't get the love and the comfort and the nurturing that I needed, right? But the more I accepted where I was coming from, and sometimes it was just to sit with her. I'm so, so sorry. Of course that hurts. Of course that's hard. But I'm here now. And I even had to apologize to my inner child for when I finally recognized it. It's like, I'm so sorry, sweet girl. I would have been here sooner if I'd known. If I'd known that this would have helped you. Right? But that's also plays into sometimes what we want, we resist. And I resisted this too for a long time. And like I've shared here, my love for my partner, I wanted his love and adoration and affection and all that. I wanted it, but I was scared of it and I didn't want it. So it was right? I'm not saying it's fun or easy all the time, but understanding that need, that deep need you have, it's good to have clarity. And then, okay, so how can I go about now as an adult to meet the need of that child that still lives inside of me? And that's also the hope, my friends, is that we can become the parent and the protector that we need. Yes, when we start to give that kind of kindness and love to ourselves, it feels a little overwhelming, because when we open up our hearts a little bit, the hurt can spill out a little bit, yes. But when we learn to meet ourselves there, and also sometimes the hurt, right, is so big, we need a community. We need to ask other people, can you just be the, the voice or the heart on the other end? And so just like earlier on our call here today, when Rob asked or told us he was really struggling, feeling like he's just stuck on this roundabout, right? That we can just take a moment and drop into our hearts. And we just sat with him. We just sat with him from our hearts and intentionally sent him love. Sent him love from the part of our hearts that we know his pain. We have all been there. We can't fix it for him, but we can sit with him. We can validate his hurt. We can help him see he's not alone, right? And that's the part that we learn to do for ourselves in our inner child. And again, in the beginning, we need a lot of outside validation and support from our tribe and our support group. And it's important. And I'm so glad most of you guys here are already in our closed group. And I know it's makes a lot of difference. So if anybody here is curious to learn more, please send me a private message. I'd love to tell you more about it. I hear you, Chrisanne. It is such a foreign concept. I never ever did that. I hear you, my friend. I hear you. I went on for a long time until I understood, right, that I could ask for something, that I could ask for what I needed. And there's, layers to that, right? And then there's, right? So we're not going to go any further into that today, but I hope that was insightful. So I'm so proud of you, Denise, that you're here and that you're putting, right, your, you're being vulnerable with us, you're taking the risk. But I also know by putting it out there, you're getting the feedback back from the group that we are there with you. We have been there, right? Many times, many of us recognize that feeling of feeling like a burden, feeling like, right? Oh my gosh, I'm just too needy. I'm just a nuisance. I'm just a bother, right? So I'm glad that you did a bypass. You moved past and you moved through that and you posted in the group anyways. So that is worth celebrating. That's a win, my friend. So good for you. So glad you did. So let's see here. I think that's it from our group today. So I'm really, really glad that you shared. Really appreciate that. So I hope you guys are being gentle with your hearts. Gentle with your hearts as we are learning to open up to listening to our bodies, listening to our hearts, and listening to our inner child, right? The part of you that is in there. So I always draw a card for us. I drew a card today for the group. It's always perfect, so I'm going to share it and let me know what you think. One day, all right, Chrisanne, feel free to ask a question. One day she woke up and discovered that she had grown wings. Did anybody need to hear that today? That you are growing wings. I don't know about you, some days I tell myself, yep, today I've got my wings on. So this is for you, my friends. There you go, Vicky. One day she woke up and discovered she had grown wings. Okay, Chrisanne. I hear you. I hear you. And trust me, my friend, it's okay if you don't feel compelled to share, or if it feels hard to share. It's okay. How do I feel okay with not sharing? Is that what you're asking? I would invite you and encourage you always to accept the truth of where you are. And today, right, it was just too hard to answer that question or whatever, right? Even if you were just, right, I'm not feeling it. So you're asking with being, so how do I feel okay with being in a good place and share? Okay, all right. See, I'm reading it backward because I am in a good place. I hear you. Oh my God, Chrisanne. Got it. Got it. I finally got it. I'm so glad that you brought that up, because isn't it interesting, my friend, that when things become good, right, we're almost just as nervous about sharing the good as we can when we feel about sharing our challenges, right? I totally know what you mean. I understand how you feel. In the beginning, when I started to have more good days than bad, I was just like, oh gosh, what? First of all, it's like, okay, when is the other shoe gonna fall, right? Or, am I making this up? What are they gonna think? Am I rubbing it in their faces, right? But that's the thing, my friend. Please share the good days. Please share the success. Yes, please. Please. We need to hear the good stuff. Sharon, thank you, my friends. I'm so glad that you asked, Chrisanne, because absolutely, my friends, because that's what life is all about, right? We have a little bit of both, right? And when we start to experience the good, I have to tell you guys, I actually searched for a while for a group. I'm in a business, women in business mastermind group, and I specifically looked for a group that would celebrate success, that it was not just, about competitions or getting ahead, or you know what I mean? It's like I really needed to find a place that was also good with celebrating, whatever success in any way that you feel is like it. This is a win for me, and I need a place to share it, right? So, and that's exactly it, right? I don't want others to feel bad due to the good stuff. Exactly, Denise, right? Good experiences would be fantastic to hear. Exactly. And that's, right, our old way to think, right? That I'm going to make other people feel bad if life is good for me, right? Exactly. That's, again, we're catching ourselves. Well, am I not allowed? Right? Is it not okay? What are they going to think? Yes. So, Chrisanne, please, I am so glad that you asked that question, and that Sharon is here to hear that too. My friends, we need everything, right? That's life. We have good days and bad days, and especially when we invest in our healing, right? I know, Sharon, no, I totally get it. I totally get it. But that's something we need to work on. After a while, I stopped feeling that way. I'm like, no, I have earned my good days. I have worked hard for this joy. I've worked hard at bringing peace into my life, and to know who I am and to know that I'm loved. It's like, right? Duck, yes, I'm going to share that with the world, be loud and proud. And if people can't handle it, I guess they're not going to want to hang out with me. But that is what we need to do more of. So thank you, Chrisanne. And I'm just so happy to hear. And for you, Sharon, my friends, that you guys are feeling good and that life is, right? There are the light at the end of the tunnel, like Denise said. So, and even I would lead with that. I think it would be a gift to the group if you guys shared that. I'm feeling like I'm having some good days here, and I'm feeling apprehensive about sharing it, not wanting others to feel. So even put it out there. Be courageous, right? I really appreciate you, Chrisanne, for bringing it up today. So putting it into the space, and just to see, because when you do, I'm sure there are other people who have thought that too. So you're welcome. Thank you. So no, my friends, nope, no guilty needed when we feel like we are in a good place. Absolutely not. We need to be able to share it. I think I've said that enough. So yes, please share with us that you have got your wings. You found your wings and you're soaring. So I think Chrisanne and Sharon, this card is for you, right? One day she woke up and discovered she'd grown wings. You got your wings. Yay! I'm celebrating you. Good, Chrisanne. Oh my gosh. It makes me so happy for you. These are happy tears. Chrisanne, makes me so happy. You have worked so hard. Oh, I hear you, Sharon. No, you're out of the yuck. We're lifting you up further, right? I hear you. No need to be pulled back down into the yuck. Absolutely not, my friend. This is hard fought success. Exactly. Right, Chrisanne? Not today. Not today. So I actually do hope you guys share in the group what you guys are celebrating and that it feels good. I would love to hear more. Sharon says, by toxic people, they're confused now that there are no toxic people in my life. I hear you. Sharon, I hear you. There you go. I have worked, right? I worked so hard at cutting out drama out of my life, right? I don't have tolerance for drama, for toxic people, for gossiping, backstabbing, all of that. Nope, don't want it in my life. plenty of other things to do. To live life fully takes up my energy now. So, well, thank you, my friends. Oh, this made me so happy, Chrisanne and Sharon. Thank you guys so much for bringing that up and for being here today. Thank you guys. You're lovelies. Always appreciate your wisdom and your sharing your vulnerable hearts and our hurts, right? It takes courage. But we are in this together. And the more of us that share the good, right? The breakthroughs, the celebrations, it lifts everybody up. It lifts everybody up. And the group, people in the group are healing faster because of it. So, all right, sweet friends. Thank you again for a beautiful time together here. I hope you're very welcome. Very welcome. Actually, I'm just remembering Thursday, I will not be here. I'm traveling south here in Oregon. I will be attending a conference, and there is an evening reception that I will be joining. So I will not be able to be here on Thursday. So just make a note of it, and I will post it in our group as well. So I will see you guys in a week here, same place, same time, Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until then, I'll see you guys on social media. Look me up. Easy to find, Svava Brooks. Or you can search for my book, Release Your Authentic Self. And if you want to learn more about our closed Facebook group, please send me a private note. So thanks for the thumbs up, my friends, here on YouTube, if this conversation was helpful to you. And of course, the hearts over here on Periscope. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, friends. Thank you, Vicky.